Hello, everyone. I'm Will Schofield, the superintendent of the Hall County School District, and with me this morning is one of our incredible emotional health, mental health partners from the North Georgia Hospital System, Adam Raulerson. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
Adam, I just first and foremost, as a dad, way before I'm a superintendent, thank you for the commitment you've made to this community and its emotional wellness over the last couple of decades. I always say that when we have questions in the Hall County School District, there are two or three local practitioners that we like to go to and vet things with and get some advice, and you always are at the top of that list. So thank you for everything you do. Would you mind telling us just a little bit about what it is that you do for a day job and how you
Sure.
spend your time and
Yeah.
do us?
Yeah. So my day job, I'm a manager with our behavioral health service line. So I'm the manager of behavioral health for community and inpatient here at Northeast Georgia Health System. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And so part of what I do is not only oversee some of our departments here in the hospital, such as our therapy department at Laurelwood, our behavioral health access center, our employee assistance program, but also do a lot of community work and develop partnerships and collaboration to really kind of be a champion for mental health well-being in our community.
Well, speaking of relationships for years and years, you and I have had one. And I don't know if you'll remember, but it was about 5 years ago that I had an epiphany of sorts and realized that the level of chaos, the level of challenge and emotional dysregulation that not only our students, but that our adults were going through was at levels that I'd never seen in my lifetime. And so as we formed an intentional plan to deal with that at levels tier one, tier two, and tier three, I came to you often and much, and you were always gracious, and you'd talk with our groups about what are some possibilities. The reason you're really on with me today is that there's a small group of people that I guess are of the belief that if you say it on the internet, you can say anything you want to, and they've been attacking a lot of the intentional practices we've been using to provide our students support. In particular, the dialectical skills groups, which has been called a number of things, but it is emotional skills training, life skills training for middle school, high school, and adults. What do you know about the DSGs, Adam? Because with your background, I'd just be very curious.
Sure. Well, what I know about DSGs is, the fact that you did pull me alongside all those years ago when we were just starting this process and had experts coming in and talking about how can we best support students, and I remember those early meetings, and for me I was blown away because finally I think you all recognized we just don't have enough mental health experts in our community, and we have so many kids that aren't able to access resources. And so how do we step up as school systems, and particularly Hall County? What do we need to do differently? And so I was just amazed by the commitment to really focus on that. And so it was very organized, very structured. I was very impressed with the development of that. I was thankful to be a part of it rather than listen to people who maybe haven't gone through the training, maybe haven't had a student go through the process. Talk to some people who've actually benefited and been a part of it.
Right. And speaking of results, of course, we've now served about 3,000 kids in our school district. We do pre and post tests based on the learning targets. And this is unheard of. I mean, 93% of the kids say they're glad they spent the time and they'd do it again. Close to 93% of the kids say the individual who taught me these skills is now the individual I consider to be my trusted adult at my school. I mean, that is gold. That's making a difference in lives.
I attended the training. I had two of our staff members attend the training. And what I found is it truly is, it's psychoeducation. It's development of skills. And you mentioned a tiered process. What's so interesting is a lot of organizations really have a tiered model. And so what I found was this is just another way to get in front of kids, teach them resiliency, the skills that they need to be able to manage this life and everything that's being thrown at them. Will, you and I, when we were younger, we just didn't face the challenges our young people face now and our families. And so any opportunity to increase their skills, emotional regulation, interpersonal effectiveness, distress tolerance, all of those skills are something we should be teaching to our young people. We should be teaching them to our adults as well.
But just to reiterate, did you say that you did attend the 2 day training where you actually went through, saw the basis of
Mhm.
DSGs, where it came from, and what the skills were?
I did. I
And
did, as well as two of my staff members.
and I'm certainly not a mental health professional, but you are. But we'll have individuals who certainly have not been to the training, who don't know much about it, saying, "Well, I showed this to a therapist, and they say it's therapy." How would you respond to that?
So what I would say is, obviously with dialectical behavioral therapy, a large part of that is the skill development. I'm not a certified DBT therapist. I could go through that process to be a certified DBT therapist, spend a lot of money, get a lot of coursework, a lot of supervision. But as a licensed therapist, I can implement DBT in my practice. I don't have to be certified. I just can't advertise as a certified DBT therapist. But this training and what you guys are doing with dialectical skills groups is not therapy.
We couldn't agree more. But in your professional opinion, dialectical skills groups are just teaching skills.
Yeah. It's teaching skills. It's also the training I found to be helpful because it's teaching me how to facilitate the teaching of skills. I'm not an educator. I think educators are taught how to teach skills
We're
to
pretty good
students.
at it.
Yeah, and you're really good at it.
Mm.
Therapists aren't always great at teaching skills. In fact, the training I was in, there were very few licensed professionals, licensed mental health professionals in the training because we're not always skilled at teaching the skill application.
Right.
We're good at diving into feelings and emotions and thoughts and really kind of understanding that and helping people to understand that and how it impacts their life. But so what I learned mostly in that training was how do I facilitate the teaching of these skills to students in a way that they understand? And I found the training, the manual is very structured, it's very organized, it's outlined very clearly. I can pick up the manual and I can teach skills. It's a curriculum, and it's a psychoeducation curriculum that's
That's
easy
exactly
for
what
me
it
to
is.
teach.
Mm.
So I really enjoyed it, and it's not diving into therapy.
We have taught 300 people across the Southeast who are now receiving some sort of correspondence that says this is psychotherapy. You shouldn't be doing this. What would you say to one of those individuals, maybe in a South Georgia community, that was so proud of the fact that they were offering their students and some of their adults skills to deal with the chaos of life, that are saying, "Oh boy, am I doing therapy?"
Yeah. Well, what I would say is teaching a person life skills, and I call them life skills. How do we manage this thing called life? Teaching skills is not therapy. Therapy is processing deep wounds, hurts, thought processes that keep you stuck in life. Um, that involve a much longer process. So, this isn't a 10-week, we don't do therapy in 10-week increments. We
Right.
do therapy over 6 months, a year. Some people are in therapy for multiple years. And so there's so much more involved than just skill development. This is teaching students and adults, it's the same skill set we need as adults to manage this thing called life. It's interesting. We do mindfulness work in our EAP where we're teaching people mindfulness meditation and how to be present in the moment.
Right.
That's a basic skill we all need to keep us from focusing on the past and focusing on the future, and let's live right here and now. Well, we all need that right now. And so you don't have to be a therapist to teach those things. And so therapy is so much more involved with diagnosis and treatment planning and extensive individual sessions, family sessions, couple sessions. It's just so much more intense, for lack of a better word.
Right.
You may recognize through this group and teaching, hey, this student really needs more work. And I would hope that would be the case, right? As you're teaching these skills, a kid may disclose some additional things that they need. Well, then it's the onus is on how do we connect them to the professionals teaching these skills. These kids deserve it, and it may be the only thing they get to help them manage this thing called life. So I would say go for it.
And Adam, you'll remember in the training, one of the things we talk about is when we do teach skills, sometimes kids will disclose trauma they've experienced. And the trained facilitator's job at that point is to make sure they're okay for the moment, connect them with resources in the school so that our people then can take it to the next step, working with the family. And if they need tier 3 support, we connect them with tier 3 support. So once again, I appreciate your distinctions. Adam, once again, more than anything else, I appreciate what you mean and what you do for this community. You're a great partner. And again, just thank you for your time.